Yes, we just what we did for now for the animations that we just created a empty game object. I name it player. I added a sprite renderer component to it, and I put one of the frames that I created on this player. So I have a player with one frame, and also I just sliced the image to 10 frames that I want to create an animation from these uh, frames. This is what I want to do now. So for this one, what I do is I just click on this player, my game object that is playing the role of this player here, and I go to this menu, to this window, and then animation and animation. So here, window, animation, animation, and it shows me the animation window that I can create from the frames. And there is a button here because there is no animation at the beginning. It just shows me that I can press this create and it results creating animation, but just the blank animation. I will add the frames to it. So I just press click create, and it asked me to name the animation because I will use this animation later in my um, animation diagram. So it's better to put them in a separate folder, as I said. So if I save it here, it will be saved in the sprites folder. So I just go here one level up and then create a new folder. I name it animations, and here inside the animation I name it, the image I inserted was idle animation, so I name it idle and just save it. So an idle animation is, as you can see, it's created but no frames in it, it's just already blank. What I do is just select all of the frames. You can, for example, you can select all of them by mouse or just clicking shift and selecting all of them and drag and drop all the frames to this animation. And okay, we have now idle animation. If you play here, you see that it's just going very fast. So we can change sample rate here. It's 60 frames per second because our animation has lots enough frames, so maybe 60 is high here. I can change it to 10 and play again. It is going, so it's still a lot. No, it's not changing actually. Yes, now it looks better now. As you can see, our character is just in the idle mode and it is using those frames for this character. So what I do is I want to create some other animations and then I will add animator to see how we can control these animations in during the game. And but before that, let's create some other animations. So I already imported idle. Let's see what else I have here. um, I will give you the whole project of the Unity as well for the second project, and you can see these resources there. But anyway, you can download your own sprite sheets and then work with that as well. And the two other thing probably WAC. Let's insert the WAC as well. I just drag and drop WAC here. I do the same thing that I did for the idle. I just select it, change it from single to multiple. It's showing that this image has multiple frames in it. And I changing filter mode from bilinear to point. and selecting the sprite editor, again applying, and this time 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So here instead of 10 I just write 8. Yeah, that is working. And slice, yeah, it's good. We just apply it and close it, and if I click here I have the frames for, I have all the frames for, I just changing the view from list to icon. If you want to see the frames, you can just change this view option slider here. So what I do now is just create another animation. Again, I click on the player. It asks me to save it. Yes, I save it. And then I open again animation. The idle is here. So for creating the new one, so there is no create animation button here because already one of them is created. For creating new one, you just create new clip here. And this one asks you to the name of the new one. I think it was walk animation, yeah. And then we save it at the same folder. And now we have idle and walk. Idle has some frames, but walk has no frames, and I have to drag and drop these frames from the walk as well in it. So list view would be better. Yeah, and just drag and drop these here, and again probably 60 sample rate, it will be very fast. And this is the walk animation. Now I have here, I have idle, I have walk. So I have two animations here that I have it here now. So because I will use two other ones, let's work with them as well. I can just easily add them, and it can be good to repeat this in order to just remember what I did. So I also created this animation. It's the clip of this. Put it here. This is this. Change it to multiple. Change filter mode to point. And sprite editor. Apply it. We have 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 10. So here the number of the columns will be 10 and one row, and then slice it. Yeah, slicing is good. And then apply. So I have frames for this as well. Again, I go to the player, save it, open a window, animation, create another animation, call it this animation. It is empty at the beginning, so I just need to drag and drop all these frames to this animation and change the sample rate to 10. I'm playing to see, yes, it is good. And this animation is also working good. And probably one more because we want to have a full control over our animation, and a run would be enough, I guess. Yeah, we had walk, idle, run. Yes, I have one here. I have run, So change from single to multiple, filter mode, one, sprite editor, save, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 slice. So it will be 8 column, 1 row, and slice. That's everything is good. Applying, and that's it. And we just again go to the animation, create new clip, and this time run, and drag and drop from run to this one. Yeah, and changing sample rate from 60 to 10. And you can play with these frames as well if you don't want, for example, you want to have more uh, controller over your frames. You can just play with this one, and because my frames are already perfect, so I didn't do that. But it is possible to change the times between the frames as well here. It is your choice that you can do it, or change the order of the frames. But anyway, uh, this is for run. Yeah. Okay, we have run, idle, walk, and this. We have these ones. So we have created animations for our animation clips. We have just the clips of animations, and we converted our frames, our sprite sheet to some frames, and changed those frames to some animation clips. But we need to control this animation in our game, and we want to say what time and when different animations should be run, and if for example, the player, when the run animation should be executed, or walk animation, or this, there should be something for controlling this animations, and this happens by a window called animator. And if you just select a player, and don't forget to select a player, and then come to this animation. So the last time we used this animation, but now we want to have animator. So this is the window that allows us to control the animations and say how we can control them. So by opening this, a new window is opened called animator, and I just want to show this to you. And the list of animations are added here. Um, those who already had a programming course with me, they know that this is kind of a state machine, and it is kind of a state diagram that shows what are the states and what happens when a player goes from one state to another one. So these are just different animations here that we already created. We created idle, walk, this, and run, and that's the reason they already here. And if we add some new ones, if I add some new animations, I can add them here in my animator, and I can control how they can be executed in different scenarios. So for now, let's see what's happening by default. Let's put this enemy state away. I will discuss it later. So by default, this entry is a state that shows that at the beginning of the program, it just goes to this entry, and then it directly goes to the idle, because the entry is connected to the idle. Now I can change them. For example, if I want my character run at the beginning, so I just right click on this entry, and it has option, it's named make transition. and I can create make transition, and then I can create, and then I can select which one I want to, and then this is going there. But in order to be as a default state at the beginning, I should select any of these ones. Just delete this transition and make them as a default. So by default, this idle is at the default. So I can, for example, select idle run and set as a default state. If I select this, so this becomes orange, and this will be the first animation that will run at the beginning of the program. So let's run the program and see what happens. Change it from the player focus to see everything here. So if I run the program, you can see it enter to the run, and it is kind of a in a loop that it is just working, running, and then running. If I want to have this running just first time, just one time, I can change the loop feature for that. Let's see, where can I find it? Yeah, in the animation, in the run loop. It's has a loop option here. If I don't want to loop, just playing one time, I can uncheck here. And if I run here, no, it runs and stops, and it doesn't run anymore because I removed the loop one. But let's create the loop for now because I want to have a running character here. Um, and now I want to control this animations. So let's back again because I want to have a starting with the idle. I set it as a default again. So this idle becomes the first state at the beginning. And put it this here. I don't want to work with it this yet. I will work with it later. And I want to have some parameters that indicate in which condition which animation should work, and this is happening by adding some parameters here. So in this window we have two tabs. So one tab is the layers tab, that we have the base layer, and I will show later that we can have sub layers. But the second tab is parameters, and you can add parameters for using them as a conditions for different um, animations. So for now, I want to add a parameter. Just press this plus button here in this parameters tab, and it is possible that I can add different types of parameters. If you don't need to be worried about this. Those who are know a little bit about programming, they know that this is different kinds of uh, variables that you can have: float variable, integer variables, boolean variables that can be just true and false, and the trigger. I will talk about the trigger later, but for now we just select the float, which is just a real number, and I want to have it here, and I named it speed. So yeah, just 2e, 3e's speed. And at the beginning it is 0. By default it is 0, and I want to say to the program to increase to run this walk if the speed is greater than some value. So here I just connect this idle, make a transition from idle to the walk, and I add a condition here for this transition based on this speed. So here it is possible to add conditions. As you can see, this inspector value is for this one, not any of this. I'm just adding condition for this transition. I select this transition and this inspector happens here, is shown here, and I can add some condition. And this is the in the list of the parameters, it shows me the parameters that I have created here. I created speed here, so I see speed here, and I can set, for example, if the speed is greater than something, let's say 0 0.5, 0 0.1, then it means that if this walk will be executed. So let's run our program. So at the beginning, it just goes to the idle and still stays there. But what I want to do is just moving from idle to the walk. And what I do is I'm just changing this speed. Uh, let's say 0 0.5, and then it starts walking. So by changing some parameters, the transition happened, and the animation from idle, there is a transition from idle to walk, and it's now in the walk state. And let's say if its speed goes beyond some value, it can go to the other animation here. I create another transition to the run, and now here I put another condition for this one, which is I want to say uh, speed is greater than, for example, 1 or 2. If it is more than 2, then it goes to the run state. And let's run the program again. So at the beginning it's in the idle, and then it if I increase it to 1, it goes to the walk, and if it is more than 2, it goes to the running. And this is how we set conditions for running different animations. If you, I don't know if you noticed or not, when we were trying to go from walk to run, there was a delay between that because it was trying to complete the animation and then going to the other one. In order to remove that, we can just uncheck this as exit time and this uncheck as well. And now I'm doing with this one as well. This transition is, I want to happen it fast without waiting for completing the animations. So if I run now, which is one, you see once I change this variable, it goes to the next one immediately, and that's the reason that I uncheck those parameters. uh, and this is how you later I will show you how to check to change these parameters. For now I'm just saying that how can I control the animations, and later we will see how we can uh, mm, we can assign some events on the UI. For example, by clicking for something or doing something, then specific animation can be run. uh, by default there was a state here which is called any state, and it is a different from this part because here we have named states. We know what states we know in what time. For example, we are in idle state, walk state, run state, entry state, or anything else. And we know if we are in idle, we can just go to the walk, and it is not possible to go from idle to run directly. And uh, one thing I forgot, let's have a change. For example, if I can create another transition here and back to walk. And this is another condition I can add. For example, say speed is this time less than 2. It again backs to the walk. Again, from walk to idle, make a transition from walk to idle. I select it. Another condition, and speed is less than 0.1, we will back to idle. And let's run this. Yeah, it is 1, it goes to the walk. Okay, 1, 2 to 1 stays there. And if it is 0, backs to walk. And oh, it is greater than, it should be less than that. Yeah, that was the problem. So if it is 1, goes to the walk. If it's greater than, goes to the run. Again, if I reduce it, it just goes to the walk. And if it is 0, goes to idle again. Yes, I was just saying that this is the states that we already have. And if I want to have some states that we can go to those states anytime without any condition. So uh, I mean, without being to say that in which conditions you can go to that state. For example, here, as I said, you can't go directly from idle to run. It, even if I select this one, for example, if I run, if I enter 5 at the beginning, it has to go to walk and then goes to run. There is no direct way from going to idle to run, because in the state chart, in the state machine, it doesn't, there is no direct transition from idle to run. But sometimes we want to run animations based on some triggers. Uh, so for example, some attack happens, or a player is shooted, and we want to play some death animation. In this case, we should have some state that is called any state. And with any state, if condition happens, that animation will be executed. For example, here I can create a make transition from any state to death. And for this transition, I can add another parameter. Here, I can add trigger parameter. Trigger is just, it says that this happened. It's not, it doesn't have any specific value. So I just add a trigger and I name it this. It can be different from this, the name of this animation, it doesn't matter. I just put it the same. And here, when I want to have a trigger, I just add this this is now added here. And that's it, because I don't have any value less or greater than. It's just a trigger parameter. And if I run now, so I'm in the idle state, I go to the walk state, but anytime I just click on this trigger parameter, it goes to this. And so there is no checking for the previous state. In any state I am, anytime this condition happens, and this we have these conditions, we will go from any state to death. And just to one thing, because this death should be run just one time, we should remove this looping from the death animation, because it's just one death, not death after another death. So We just uncheck this loop for animation of death here. And now if I come here, I'm in the idle. Yes, and it happened one, and it's just it stays after one death. Or hmm, yes, speed goes to example 2, 3, and then suddenly I trigger this and it goes to this state. Yes. um, and as I said, for example, probably we can have attack one as well, just inserting attack here. I just want to create another trigger. uh, where did I put walk, run, idle, attack? Yes, attack is just the one frame for now. Again, I select multiple, filter mode to point, sprite editor, apply 1 2 3 4 5 6. Just slice it as a cell count 6. Yes, it's okay. Slice, yes, apply it, and then just clicking on the player window, animation, animation, create new clip, and this is attack. Attack is already empty, and I just save it in a wrong place. I should move them to the animation. I will do it later, but for now let's create our animation. These 6 frames, I just move them here and change it to 10. The speed frame rate for the 10, and I move this attack to the animations folder because all of the animations are now in the same location. And I want to have attack here. It's already added here. I just added and it added here, but if it's not, you can just remove it and again drag and drop from the list of animations here. What I want to do is I just another transition from any state to attack, or maybe yeah, from in here to attack. So for example, here I can add another parameter, another trigger, and this time it's called attack. Save to not do. Okay, and I have attack, death, and this trigger. I should enable this trigger. So here I select the attack trigger, and yes, if we run, yes, it is in the idle state. I increase it to it goes to the walk. If I select the attack trigger, it starts attacking. And if it is a this, it just goes to this and without any loop, and it stays there. I think the time is almost over. And what we did today, it was just uh, we saw how we can add some UI elements. We work with the UI elements. We add interactions by clicking, entering, mouse dragging. We did this. We created animation clips for our character, and we controlled those animations by defining some parameters, different parameters, float parameters, and also trigger parameters. And we showed how we can create those clips by slicing those frames and changing the filter mode to a pointer to increase the quality of those. And later I will show you how we can assign interactions, and when player interacts with the player, different animations shows. I think we can cover these on Monday, as well as some other interactions that you will need your project.